all the platforms, LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook to catch up. And we are now live. Welcome everyone to episode 1 of the Level Up Your Wealth podcast. Number 1, number numero uno. I can't say that in French, but welcome at any rate. I'm one of your hosts, Marcus Howard, and we are joined by Mario Payne. Mario, please introduce yourself to everyone so they can understand who you are, where you're from, and we'll get everything kicked off.
Awesome. What's going on, y'all? Hope all is well. Mario Payne in beautiful Florida. I think Marcus is in Florida as well. So we are feeling the rain today. They say it never rains in Southern California. It definitely rains in Florida. But I'm a certified financial planner. I have a practice called Tomes Financial, one of the largest Black-owned investment firms in America. So just blessed with that. I've been practicing for 16 years. Been a certified financial planner for 11 years. I'm a co-owner of an app called Let Bob that you can get on your Play Store and on the App Store as well. Me and my team launched the first Black-owned AI-powered ETF on the stock market ever. The symbol's Let B, LETB as in boy. Just extremely blessed. I woke up this morning, man, so I got nothing to complain about. I game. Now, if y'all want to hit me up on Madden, man, y'all come on now. You know what I'm saying? Don't win all the time, but it might be a competitive game. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Excellent, man. Excellent. So you and I decided to put this podcast together because there's just not enough financial literacy education. I certainly didn't get any when I was in middle school or high school, and they weren't offering it and in college as well. And let me say that differently. I didn't take any financial literacy classes in college. I know that they weren't offering it in middle school and high school, and I did not elect to take those classes when I was in college. And I have made my fair share of financial illiteracy mistakes. So what we want to do is I definitely want to learn, and obviously you are the go-to expert, but I'm sure there's other people, professionals who may have been in a similar situation where they weren't taught in grade school and they didn't elect to learn in high school, and now maybe have made some mistakes as adults. Has it been your experience from people that you work with?
Oh yeah, man, and we have clients of all walks of life. But I mean, they always say the biggest lessons is in your mistakes, not your successes. When you become successful, you get the big head. But when you make your mistakes, it's like when you're playing a game and you fail, like, oh, I got it, right? Definitely when it comes to finances, the more that you learn, the more that you understand. But everybody's going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. I mean, I don't bat 10 for 10 when it comes to investing people's money. I don't always make the best mistakes. I mean, I'm sorry, the best decisions. I mean, everybody learns, so that's fine. And even from like a college standpoint, when I went to college, I was also in the military. Mm-hmm. So I didn't even know I was going to be a financial advisor to like the military side. So when the war started in 2003, so salute to all my veterans out there. I was actually deployed from my university, Tennessee State, to Kuwait. So everybody was in Iraq. I was in Kuwait pushing papers. So I'm a lover, not a fighter. But yeah, so I learned very quickly. We had individuals that were higher ranked in the military, and they just didn't have the financial literacy either. These were people, making a nice amount of money. People that were colonels, lieutenant colonels. Just from an investment standpoint, a financial standpoint, they make the best decisions. So right then and there, I kind of shift my thought process from, majoring in business to actually majoring in finances and going the financial advisor route so I can really help people of all walks of life. So we always learn. And the worst mistake is a mistake that hopefully we don't make again. The best mistake is one that we won't make again. So yeah.
How does the saying go? A smart person learns from their own mistakes, but a wise person learns from the mistakes of others.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Kind of, but yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to do a lot of learning, and thank you for sharing that. I didn't know before that you served, so thank you for your service. Thank you, anyone who's viewing, for your service. We appreciate you all creating these liberties that we enjoy here in America, and those of you who are tuning in from around the world, people who are sacrificing their livelihoods so you can have those luxuries. Which branch of the military did you serve in?
Yeah, the one and only Army. The first always the best, right? So yeah, I was in the Army. So I was 5 years in the military in the Army. I spent 3 years as a reservist, 2 years active. I learned to be a man very quickly. So I got in at 18. So my parents couldn't afford, paying for college. I had, younger brothers and sisters. So I decided to serve. My whole family has served. Have a conversation, different time, different channel. But my grandfather was actually one of the surviving members of the U.S. Indianapolis. It was a ship that got torpedoed in World War II. There was over 1,000 sailors and only 317 survived. He was one of them. He was in shark-infested waters for 5 days, just surviving. If it was not for his survival, we wouldn't be here right now. It was my grandfather. So definitely, so service is big, and so this is extremely blessed. It was a great way for me to learn about myself. Like I said, become a man and serve the country at the same time.
That's an incredible story. So it is a miracle that you were here. It's a miracle that we're all here, but those are some miraculous circumstances. Wow. So I want to take a quick break and or just a bit of a moment for anybody who is tuning in. We want to definitely engage you. This is not a lecture. This is a conversation. Y'all are here to get some free financial stock picks. We're not doing stock picks, but it's free financial advice. This is financial literacy education. So if you have any questions, if you want to understand some terms, Mario and I are going to be working together for an extended period of time. So not only do we have these podcasts, which will be weekly, but we'll also be sharing some financial literacy education on a variety of social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, etc. But if you have questions, don't ask me about them because, again, like I gambled a bunch of money when I was 18. I bought lottery tickets with my graduation money. It didn't work out. So I don't have any good advice for you except for don't do that. The house always wins. But Mario can give you some great advice.
The house does win, and the house gonna keep on winning and winning and winning. And for some strange reason, we keep on betting against the house, man. So that definitely want to be the house. Definitely want to be the house.
So we just want to take a few moments here. If you have any questions, or if you're tuning in, let us know in the chat. We've got Tymed Carley. Thank you for joining us. Max, I think Max is in Texas. What's up, Max? Max is a DJ and he plays video games. I think you know a DJ who plays video games as well, right?
In Texas, yes, actually, yeah. Tay Boogie, DJ Tay Boogie. Yeah. Texas, man. Texas is cool.
So if anybody has any questions, again, just a few more moments, and then we'll jump right back into it. But want to make sure that if you have any financial literacy questions, want to understand a little more about Mario's background, definitely give you an opportunity to do that. While you're thinking up your questions, if you see that scrolling blue thing here at the bottom, we now have a new landing page, a gaming-focused landing page on Mario's website. So if you go to the bit.ly/levelupyourwealth, you can get right over there. And then for those who or Mario, can you help explain what the website is if you're not using the Bitly?
Yeah, so our website. So www.tomesfinancial.com. That's our website. But the cool thing about the website is that we do have a level up your wealth tab. You click that tab, it gives you information. We actually wrote 2 ebooks. One ebook is 5 reasons why gamers are good investors, right? And so it kind of goes over why gamers historically are actually better investors than like the everyday people. So I kind of go over that. And also, not only is it an ebook, but it's an e-video as well. So for individuals that don't want to read, they want to watch, they want to be visual, we actually created a e-video going through the process. Then also we did another ebook about 7 successful habits in finances. So we kind of go over what to do to kind of get your finances in order. That's an ebook that you can download as well. And it's an e-video. So we give basically free content just to educate. They say education is the key. So definitely the more that we educate, the more people feel good about the investment decisions and the financial decisions that they make, period. And then as well, if you want to have a conversation just about life and about finances with me, it's a tab there to set some time to talk to me. No cost. I ain't a snake oil salesman now. Ain't no cost to have a 15-minute conversation. But you can click that tab. We can have a conversation to help you if you have any questions there as well.
Excellent. So that website is TOAMS Financial, FINANCIL.com. Or again, if you see it scrolling at the bottom, bit.ly/levelupyourwealth. If you don't use the Bitly, you do need to click on the Level Up Your Wealth tab in the top navigation. But again, if you type this URL you see here, you can get directly there. And I'm glad that you created that ebook about the value of gaming to investors. You and I had this conversation before. You know, there's still a very significant stigma against gamers and against gaming, right?
Yeah, yeah. So like the whole thought process is that, people in their mama's basement just playing video games for 16, 20 hours. They might Uber Eats for 2 hours to make a little bit of money so that they can have, fake coins to play their games again. Like it's just not the case. Like I'm blessed to have clients that are, high net worth that game. I mean, I have clients that are engineers, and just from a skill level standpoint, gaming kind of keeps you motivated. One thing about gaming is that um, we usually don't quit. So sometimes we might lose. Sometimes we not might make it to the level. But the great thing about gaming, we're always able to reset, recalibrate, and do it all over again. Well, from an investment standpoint, it's kind of the same thing, right? We might pick anybody, almost anybody who invested, late 2021, they probably did not feel good in mid to late 2022 because the market went down, right? The same investment a person bought in late 2022 probably feels pretty good right now, right? Because the market, historically is going up, and depending on what investment you have, it is going up. So the gamer in me, just because I may have lost some money from an investment, doesn't mean I'm a bad investor, doesn't mean I'm a bad gamer. It's just the timing, right? It's the wrong time. You can have a great investment, and 12 months from now, it might be a horrible investment. Or the flip side, it might be a horrible investment, like in 2021, and then now in 2023, it looks like a great investment. I mean, look at Nvidia, right? Nvidia shot up to the moon.
Yeah.
It didn't look too good in late 2021 and 2022. So from a gaming standpoint, having those same attributes as an investor can definitely help you grow your portfolio, which allows you to have more coins and help, provide for you and your family.
Excellent, excellent. We got a couple of chat messages that are here on LinkedIn that didn't make it into Restream. So normally I would display them here, but I'm just gonna give a quick shout out to folks who are tuning in. Stephen T, thank you for joining in. Again, Time Ed and Max, appreciate you for supporting. We got a few folks who haven't timed in. So if you are here in the chat, if you just say hello and let us know where you're from. I see that you're tuned in, but I can't see who you are unless you want to have a conversation with us. If you're just chilling, that's cool too. Allison Canales asks, she says, hi from Texas. She says she's here as a fly on the wall to listen as she puts some sleeves on her baseball and basketball cards. To speak up with any questions, and thanks for the opportunity. Thank you for supporting us, Allison.
Hey, that was actually my first business I ever had when I was 9 years old. I collected cards, so I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. So born and raised in Cincinnati. So all my Bengals fans, hooray! We're going to the Super Bowl again this year, hopefully. I was actually at the last Super Bowl the Bengals played a couple years ago, man. It was great to the fourth quarter. And then all heck broke loose. But conversation for another day. But definitely who they. When I was not 9 years old, I actually started a baseball card trading club. Mm-hmm. So we charged like 50 cents to kind of get in, and then like we traded cards, and that was my first entrepreneurial job entrepreneurial business at 9 years old, was actually doing upper deck trading cards, if y'all familiar with baseball cards back in the day. So yeah. Go ahead, Allison.
Yeah, I remember that too, and don't worry about the Bengals. I'm originally from Georgia, so the Falcons made history for all the wrong reasons a few years ago. I feel your pain right here. I feel your pain.
Yeah. Just run the ball, but yeah.
Just had him in the first half, Coach. Had him in the first half. And I traded cards as well when I was in middle school. Not baseball cards. I had Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I had some Star Wars cards. My brother and I had this crazy idea that we were just gonna buy up all these Yu-Gi-Oh cards when we were in high school, and then go to the regular tournaments in the area, and then outplay the middle schoolers, and that's how we're gonna get our money back. We never got around to the second half of that plan. So like I said, I have plenty of mistakes people can learn from. It's interesting that we both had similar backgrounds with different types of trading cards.
Yeah. Fun times.
Let's see if we have any questions. So we talked a little bit about the 7 areas. If you want to provide a quick highlight of what those areas are?
Yeah. Great question. Well, actually, let me ask you a question because we stumbled upon something, right? So, I know I talked about from a gaming standpoint, why one of the reasons why I think that gamers are good from a financial standpoint. What about you though? Because I mean, you are Marcus Esports Howard, So, what are some of the reasons, or why do you think that that gamers, can do better than the average person from an investment standpoint?
I think that gaming um, encourages you to process different types of information very quickly, make quick
Mhm.
decisions, and as you mentioned, learn from your mistakes. I had a coffee earlier today, and so this is not a great example. This is a counter example, and there was just like so many options there, and I just wanted to get something quick to drink, and I was a little bit overwhelmed. But like when I'm playing video games, I can process everything that's happening because you have to,
Mm.
right? So I think that's one of the key things, and it's one of the reasons. I think you and I had that conversation a couple of weeks ago. There was an article saying that businesses now see gaming in high demand as a training foundation for being able to process again large volumes of information and make quality decisions quickly. There's no such thing as true multitasking, but it allows you to do I would say multi-processing.
Yes. Making decisions quickly, and also from like an investment standpoint, I get this kind of question a lot, like, what's an investor and what's a trader, right? So I think to take it a step further, and people that are traders. So what a trader is, person who's kind of getting in and out the market. That could be a day trader that's doing it throughout the day. That could be a swing trader that might buy something on Monday and then sell it either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So those kind of quick decisions using information like technical charts or technical analysis, for instance, like, I think from a gaming standpoint, when we do play games, we have to get in and out, like you said. So that's kind of like investing. From a trading standpoint, investing from an investment standpoint, a little bit different. An investor is kind of more long term. So some of the strategic games that are out there, right, where we're using strategy, where we're not going to make a rash decision, we're not going to make an emotional decision or based on information. We're going to strategically kind of have a layout. That's how investing comes in. So individuals who like more strategy games, they like games that's more long term, that you have to kind of build up and things of that nature. That's more of an investor, from a gaming standpoint. So I like that differentiation. But you want to process something quickly, you're probably a better trader from an investment standpoint compared to an investor. So yeah. So anyways, though, but when it comes to some of the things we talk about from a financial planning standpoint, first off is budgeting. And budgeting is so like, okay, you're this old person. I'm not old, but this old person telling me about budgeting. I know how to budget. You know, I would probably say for every 10 people I talk to, maybe 3 or 4 actually have budgets, right? And it's so easy now. Like, you can create your own budget. You can use apps like mint.com, for instance, like Rocket Money, that kind of creates a budget for you. But I usually recommend the 50-30-20 rule. Pretty easy, right? For every $100 that we make, after you pay your taxes now, I want y'all to be Wesley Snipes or Fat Joe, get into some trouble, right? Pay y'all taxes. Now, Fat Joe wasn't his fault. The CPA did it, but whatever though. You know what I mean. Pay your taxes.
Pay your
But
taxes.
yeah, but after you pay your taxes though, for every $100 that you bring in, $50 should go towards like just basic bills, your mortgage, your rent, your car payment, your cell phone bill. Until Amazon comes around and has free cell phones for everybody, right? But your cell phone bill, things of that nature, like the things that we just kind of use on a day-to-day basis. And then 30%, so that's 50, right? So 30% out the 50-30-20, that should really go towards our wants, setting up for a vacation, going out to eat, trying to find those Beyonce tickets is like Houdini. You can't find them, but they're out there somewhere, right? Or even Taylor Swift. Every single show she gets over $15 million. Now, of course, it's expenses, but like, you talk about get to the bag, Taylor. Oh boy. But yeah, so 30% should go towards those wants, things that are not like day-to-day bills per se, but things that we're going to spend money on. And then the other 20%, that should actually go towards saving and investing, right? I recommend out of that 20%, 15 of 20 going to investing. Of course, I would say that. And then the other 5% going towards savings. Because typically, especially now, because with those high yield savings accounts that we have with different providers that are paying 4.5, 5%, not gonna last forever. Once interest rates go down, those are gonna go down too. But while they're here, you can definitely take advantage of them. So that last 20%, again, I would say 15 of the 20% investing, then the other 5% in savings. So again, 50 bills, 30 kind of bills that you're gonna spend money on, the other 20 investing. You do that, you'll be good to go from a budgeting standpoint.
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm not taking notes because this session is recorded, but anybody who is not going to watch the recording later should be taking some serious notes here because that's a gem. That's great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're at the 20-minute mark. So I want to again take a quick break. Let anybody who has questions. Mario's here to give you some free advice, help you understand some concepts you don't know. He just broke down budgeting, why it's important, a couple of tools to help you do that, a structure, a philosophy to make that easier. So again, great knowledge here, great insights. If you're tuning in from LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, definitely don't hesitate to share your questions. And actually, we can't see the ones coming in from Twitter and Facebook because of Restream. But on LinkedIn, definitely see you. Thank you for showing up and supporting. Don't miss out on this opportunity for some free advice. We'll just take a couple moments. And again, the link at the bottom is bit.ly/levelupyourwealth. There's a full breakdown of the 7 areas you need to consider when you're trying to understand how to level up your wealth. There's also 5 reasons why gamers make great investors. Tons of great information there as well. So see if we got some questions rolling in here. So people just hanging out and lurking. That's all cool and well. I have a question for you, Mario. Why do you think it is that financial literacy is not taught in middle school and high school? You know, we can learn. They teach a bunch of things, and financial literacy is probably. Now I appreciate that how important it is. I would not have appreciated it, when I was 12 to 18, but I didn't have a say so in my education either way, right? When I was 12 to 18.
Yeah. Now that's a great question, man. And if I had a answer like a doctoral answer where it's like a thesis about it, I'll let you know. But I don't know. Like I have my kind of conspiracy. My conspiracy is that, of course, the bookmakers of the world, individuals get paid from schooling. Like our thought process is English, social studies, history, math, right? And like that's just kind of our old world views. And old world views is the people who make the books. The people who make the books and curriculum gets paid, and like it is what it is, right? Hopefully I'm wrong, but definitely from an education standpoint, case in point, I have a daughter. She's going to the 4th grade, and we were doing like fractions and like semi fractions, and I'm like, unless she's an engineer, she might not be, but like, does this matter? Like when she's 25, 30 years old, like, will this really matter? No, I definitely think we should be teaching more just about money, more about finances, more about, if I have $100, if I save it, how much is going to grow over time? Like if we start them young and early and just pour into them from a financial standpoint, I think we'd be in a better situation. You think about 84% of American families are living paycheck to paycheck. So those are the haves and the have-nots. It's people I'm blessed to help with that make a nice amount of money, but they spend like crazy. I have clients that don't make that much money, but they save everything. So they're in a better long-term financial situation than people that make more. So going back to the being raised on how to spend money, how to save money, how to value money, that goes a long way. I wish it was teach more. One thing through our app, Let Bob, that we're actually doing is that we're actually creating a curriculum. It's companies out there that are going into middle schools, going into high schools, and doing curriculum. I've seen from afar, though, it's not an easy sale because from like a day-to-day standpoint, there's so much they have to learn, so much testing they have to do from a state standpoint that is just not there in the day. So it's more of a after-school program. But if it's an after-school program, how many people is going to stay after school to learn about finances? Not that many people, especially in middle school, high school, and elementary school. So It's definitely something that we need to do better of. I personally feel like some things we learn in school that we should not really be worried about because they ain't gonna really help us in the long run. But that's just my 2 cents. I ain't trying to get nobody canceled though, right? We love our school districts. We love
Right.
our school board. You know what I'm saying? But just my common thoughts. So yeah.
It's interesting you say that because home economics used to be like a structured course, a standard course, and obviously
Yeah.
like that has become irrelevant over the years and the decades. But like financial economics, right? you,
Yeah.
you would think that course to stay relevant could have evolved over the years, and I would think financial literacy would be an amazing component to that type of course.
Yeah. So, actually, a nonprofit I'm part of called Knots for Kids here in Jacksonville, where I live. We have like modules. It's like 6 different modules we teach to middle school age children, well, boys, and like in impoverished areas. And
Mm.
but it's an after school program, so it's not for the whole school. So we usually have about maybe 30 to 40 students on an annual basis participate. Now, we're in
Mhm.
6 schools, which is good, but I mean it's maybe 40, 50 middle schools here in Jacksonville. But again, it's the after school program. And financial literacy is just one. Like we talk about, attitude is everything. We have an attorney come in about kind of crime and punishment. Like if you do the crime, you're going to do the time. We have me and another financial advisor that talks about money. We have a doctor that comes in. So we have those resources. But again, it's an after school program. It's not actually in the school. Like I think it would be way better it was a class, like a hour class every single day, even a half an hour. I mean, in high school we're in study hall for 45 minutes doing nothing. Writing notes now, texting, looking at TikTok, YouTube. Like, what if we just did financial literacy every day instead of study hall? Or maybe study hall for 30 minutes and then financial literacy for 15 minutes. Like it would go such a long way in kids' lives, but um, I don't know.
Yeah, you're talking about compounded interest of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
10 minutes, like you said, 10 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be a whole half hour or a whole hour, even just 10 minutes if it's 5 days a week, and over the course of what are we in school for? 12 years or more, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so and I like to always use my sports analogies, right? So
Yeah.
we've seen the Denver Nuggets center. They just won a championship. Nikola Jokic, right? When he first came into the league, he was a second round pick, and he was like pick number 58. So out of 60 picks, he was basically the third to last. He was just like this out of shape, kind of pudgy person, not athletic, but every single year he applied himself and they got beat by the Lakers in the bubble in 2020. I'm a Lakers fan. Shout out to my Lakers fan. Uh, man, tough man. Because if we would have beat the Nuggets, we would have won a championship. Conversation for another day. But anyway, but in the bubble, he got schooled by Anthony Davis, and he was like, you know what I am doing is not enough. So he basically lost about 30 pounds,
Mhm.
and that 30 pounds of just weight now allows him to be a lot more agile, a lot more better on the defensive end. He was a defensive liability. Now, they don't have to worry about double teaming because he can hold his own. He now is able to spread the floor because he's not getting in foul trouble. So those incremental steps that he did over a 3-year time period had him go from one of the best centers in the league to now people saying a run that's historically he might be one of the best centers in the world historically if he does this for another 3 or 4 years. So to your point, incrementally investor that gets published next month. Like Kobe had a thing where every single day he was 1% better, right? So like at the end of the night when he goes to sleep, did he do better 1% wise? Did he get better 1% wise the next day? And to your point, if you incrementally do that every single day, you're going to be a better you. If you're a better you, hopefully you're a better gamer. If you're a better gamer, hopefully you're a better investor. You have better relationships, business wise and personal, and you just become a better person. So, long story short, to your point, those incremental successes day by day definitely lets you grow.
Excellent, excellent. When you talk about kind of if you're building a pyramid, right? Incremental growth. Would you say that budgeting is the foundation of that pyramid? Like you have the ebook, right? That's on
Mhm.
bit.ly/ level up your wealth. It's got 7 areas of financial wealth. Would you say that budgeting is the foundation?
Yes, I mean that, and budget is actually chapter one. Chapter one, umero uno, right? Number one. So yeah, because without a budget, what foundation do you have, right? We can have all these dreams about starting a business. I see here. I think what somebody wants to do a gaming, JC, and congratulations, JC, on doing a gaming activation, right? So he can have all the dreams in the world to do things, but just financially, if the business, personally and professionally, is not where it's supposed to be, it's going to be very tough to have that activation. It's going to be very tough to pull the resources. So yeah, you have to budget. If you don't know, if you know what's coming in your pocket, but you don't know what's going out your pocket, like how can you be successful, right? Again, I'm blessed to have clients that make a nice amount of money, but the ones that spend, they don't have as much in their bank account or as much in their investment account as they would want them to because they don't have that budgeting a huge amounts of money for budgeting, but yeah, it's a reason why, and people that budget, that balance their checkbooks, that do that 50-30-20 rule that I talk about, where 50% of the money that you bring in after taxes, of course, goes towards your basic bills, 30% goes towards kind of your wants and needs financially, the other 20% investing. You do those three things over time, you'll be good. Have to worry about credit cards. Those credit card payments will be paid and then gone away because we're not spending extra money on credit cards, which allows you to invest more, allows you to spend more money. So, answer your question, yes, budgeting is that solid foundation.
Thank you for saying that. You mentioned earlier that how I described why video games or gamers or what about gaming makes for great investing. And I mentioned, process lots of information. You said day trader. Ironically, I was doing some day trading with crypto like 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I had to step away from it because it was, again, overwhelming. Like I was spending so much time in order to day trade, especially in the crypto market, because it's so unregulated, it's hyper volatile. So
Yeah.
in order to make money, like this was, again, 10 years ago, like you had to be watching it. And so like it was consuming all of my bandwidth to try to understand like where the opportunities were. Was
Yeah.
not become a crypto millionaire, but I was doing some day trading where ironically, where I didn't see myself doing that as a stock trader. It made sense for me for crypto, but not for stocks.
Yeah. It's been a great conversation, right? So, again, trading versus investing, right? So, 10 years ago, um, one Bitcoin, right? One Bitcoin up, down. But if you just not traded that Bitcoin, but held that one Bitcoin for 10 years, how much would that have been, right? A lot of darn money right now. Now, of course, a lot more. In late 21 was at 63,000 per Bitcoin. Boy, we had some happy people. When it
Right.
went down to 17, not so much. Not fun. And I had to drop too, man. I sold my Bitcoin, I think like at 54, and I got back in at 20. So definitely a long way down. I didn't suffer, right, from an investment standpoint, not a trading standpoint. But just imagine if you were maybe not day trader, but just invested, bought Bitcoin, bought ETH. Oh my gosh, 10 years ago. Goodness gracious, how much would that have been today, right?
Right.
So to your point, we think about day trading, we think about trading, but I'm in the realm of, and I'm not right all the time, but I'm in the realm of long-term investing because we might get some things right, we might get some things wrong. Believe it or not, 90% of traders lose money, right? We talked about the house. The house is the banks. The house has algorithms, they have bots, they have all types, they have the money. So they're going to win. And you're trading against the banks. So, when a person comes into, kind of how to invest or how to trade, I try to push them away from trading, investing, finding things at a low price, holding them. Now, of course, if you have a huge drop like Bitcoin did, in late 21, 2022, that's different. Then, yeah, you want to get out. But just like, kind of day to day, week to week trading, you drive yourself crazy, which you could probably attest to, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You talk about that 20% that's not bills and kind of wants, your needs and your wants. You have the savings and investing pocket. Uh, have you seen, and maybe this has changed, I've not been following it, but you mentioned the 4.5%. Is that now for savings accounts now outpacing inflation? Because the general advice that I have only recently started to hear is that you actually lose money by putting into savings accounts.
You do. Historically, you do. So inflation was as high as 9% this time last year, right? It got as high as 9.1%. So if you had $100 a year ago, well, now 2 years ago, those same bills was $100 was $109. That was just unsustainable, and that's one of the reasons why the market did kabooey last year from a Nasdaq standpoint. Second worst Nasdaq year this millennium. We had 2008 that was the worst, and then 2022 was the second worst. Unlike 2008, where the housing market went down, the banks went crumbling down, and the market a little bit different in 2022, where houses was rocking and rolling on the upside. Banks having some troubles, not until 2023 when that kind of just happened, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't get we got bad press, but not as bad as 2008. But last year was a very, very bad year. So as inflation went up, it just kind of hurt from an investment standpoint. Inflation is coming down. Right now, year over year, inflation is 4.1%. So for every $100 in bills, theoretically speaking, now those bills are $104. So yes, right now, some of those high yield savings accounts that's paying 4.5%, they are beating inflation. Now, it's not going to be forever. As soon as inflation continues to go down, those rates will go down as well. So I would never tell a person to put all their money in savings. You want to be diversified. I would never tell a person to put all their money in stocks either, even though you're gonna historically make more money in the stock market than anything else. But just you want to be diversified. So depending on your risk tolerance, how much risk we want to do, then the money that's not risky, the money that we kind of need from a day-to-day standpoint, operations, paying bills, and things of that nature, that's what you want to put into that high yield checking or savings account.
Okay, that makes sense. And then for the other 15%, and again, a lot has changed over the last 10 years. We didn't have Robinhood and all these other platforms that make retail investing actually accessible to retail investors, right?
Or let Bob.
Right. Sorry. Please plug the app. Plug the app. No, actually, and when after you answer my question, please talk a little bit more about that, because this is my first time learning about it. So definitely want you to give that some spotlight time. Out of your clients, and maybe because you deal with so many high net worth, this might skew a little high, but in your general experience, what's the amount of annual income that someone should start thinking about before they start investing in stocks? I know there's different types of ways to invest, so maybe I need to ask that question differently, because there's different asset classes, and I know you can't make stock picks, or this is not that what this show is about, but generally speaking, can I start making investments at $50,000 a year? Can I start making investments at $30,000 a year? Can I make it at $100,000? Where mentally should I start shifting my mindset about how I manage my money?
Yeah. Well, let me circle back. From a high net worth standpoint, anybody and everybody can invest. I mean, I have clients that are making $35,000 a year, but they save, and they have a nice bag, as the kids would say. And I have clients that make millions of dollars a year. So like anybody, you got to crawl before you walk, right?
Yeah.
So before we go running, we're walking. Before we're walking, we're crawling. So I wouldn't have anybody can invest. I mean, it's very, very easy. You can use a Let Bob, you can use a Robinhood, you can use a TD Ameritrade, whatever you want to use. Anybody can invest. So that's just kind of doesn't matter where you're at. You want to invest. But to that question, when it comes to when should I start investing, different theories, different thought processes. My humble opinion as a certified financial planner is that you want to have money from an emergency standpoint first before you do any investing, right? Some people say you want to have 1 to 2 months of expenses in savings before you start investing. Some people say 6 months. Some people say a year, right? So again, depending on the job you have, your risk tolerance, it depends. But for instance, if I have my expenses, let's say my expenses are $2,000 a month, let's just say, right? If my expenses are $2,000 a month and I got $100 in savings, but I got $5,000 investing. What happens if I lose my job? Like, what happens if something happens? I got a flat tire. My transmission's going out. You know what I'm saying? That's going to cost me $2,000. Well, in 2021, if you invested your $5,000, that's probably about 3,500. You know what I'm saying? So now, instead of it being savings, now I got to take something that was 5,000, that was 3,500. I lost $1,500. So you want to have that checking and savings account kind of beefed up that covers expenses for, again, 3 months, 6 months, even a year before you start investing, because we don't want to sell low, right? We want to buy low, sell high. It's just so easy with investing. Just think about it. Sell high, buy low. But we don't do that because we have what you call emotions. It's that song, emotions make you cry sometimes, makes you cry when you lose money too. But if we had a beefed up checking the savings account, we might not have to sell our investments. So just depends. Depends on your risk tolerance. Depends what job you have. If you have like a salary job where you're pretty safe, then yeah, maybe close to the 2 or 3 months of expenses. If we have a job that might be seasonal, a job that might be on a fritz right now, especially tech. There's a lot of tech layoffs right now going on. We probably want to beef up our checking and savings just in case, and not use that money to invest. Because you never know.
Okay, okay. Back to video games. I know you play Madden, and then we talked about this before. How many hours a day or a week do you spend playing at least Madden?
Yeah. Great question. Before my child or after my child, right? So yeah, so before me and my wife had our child. I mean, she's halfway at the house now. I mean, she's 9. So, but
Mhm.
I would say like I probably did maybe an hour, 2 hours a day.
Mhm.
So I probably got maybe two or three games in, and it was like decompression, right? So I have this quote unquote stressful. I think my job is amazing. I don't think it's stressful anymore. Yeah, we have clients. I'm blessed to have clients. I have 1,100 clients worldwide, so it's extremely blessed. I have a staff
Wow.
of 7, so this is extremely blessed. But like playing video games, that was like my decompression, right? So now with the child, it's more like a Friday night type of thing. Friday night in my man cave. I got that my gaming chair. Said I got a nice little movie room set up, and I just kind of play Madden for 2 or 3 hours. Everybody goes to sleep, and instead of watching a Lifetime movie with the wife, I'm playing Madden. So a little bit different now, but definitely when I do get to play though, definitely gets my mind at ease. I'm not thinking about the market. I'm not thinking about what stocks to buy. I'm not thinking about charts because I'm a huge believer in technical analysis from an investment standpoint. So I'm thinking about charts and when to buy and if it's a Fibonacci ratio. And I ain't thinking about that stuff. I'm just able to play, hopefully beat people. Uh, and yeah, so a lot has changed from a gaming standpoint. Now I can't say though, right? Because games is all shapes and sizes. So me and my daughter, we do 15 minutes a day of Wordscape. It's a game that we do on our iPad where it's educational, but at the same time, you get different levels and you have like different coins that you get. So I still kind of game in that aspect, but it's more kind of educational games, with my daughter. It's a finance game where like you're running a marathon. I forget the name of it. I have it next week, but you're running
Mhm.
a marathon, and basically like they ask different questions. Like, okay, you get $100. Are you gonna save it? You're gonna spend it. What you gonna spend it on? Here's a credit card. How much you gonna put on the credit card? And like the more questions that you have, like the more skin that you get, you're able to kind of customize what you wear. Like she has a dress, I got a suit and tie. And like so that's still gaming, but it's not the traditional gaming when you think of Xbox or Madden or 2K or things of that nature.
But you're right. It's still gaming, right? There's 3 billion gamers worldwide. Everybody's playing on a variety of platforms, a variety of genres. You got shooters and racing games and a little bit of everything, something for everyone. And it's
Now,
great that you go
now,
ahead.
now, now, Mr. Esports, I have to say though, I believe, and this is my conspiracy hat. I believe 3 to 5 years from now, gaming is going to be totally different because of Apple. Mr. Tim Cook, you did it again. Steve Jobs is looking down like, yeah, go ahead, Tim. Have you seen their headset?
Did you see how much that headset costs?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that right now. We're just talking about the concept.
Yeah,
not
the
the price.
concept dope. Concept dope.
That's why we do 50, 30, 20, right? So 30%, because I know it comes out early next year.
Yeah.
So if 30% from now until the end of the year of our money is going towards our wants, that's a shiny $3,500 want. But we can get it. And if you're a business owner, you get to write it off, talk to a CFP like myself. We can talk about how you're able to do that. But man, you want to talk about a gaming experience? I could do this and I could make something go. I could with my hands, make stuff move. Like gaming is gonna be so different
Yes.
2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now. I'm just, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So excited.
Ready Player One, right?
Yes, yes, yes. And from an investment standpoint, that's why they say Apple is King Kong. It is Mufasa, the king of the jungle. Like standard operating procedure, not telling y'all what to do. Talk to me or a certified financial planner. But standard operating procedure when it comes to Mario Payne and Tones Financial, we got some Apple because Apple has good days, bad days, but it has been the king of the jungle. Apple, their earpods, these Amazon earpods because I can't spend no $150 on my heat off. I go to Amazon and get the El Cheapos, but their earpods in the year 2021, their revenue from their earpods made more money than Procter and Gamble. So think about Procter and Gamble. Think about they make soap, they make toothpaste, they make potato chips, they make all types of stuff. AirPods for Apple made more money than Procter and Gamble as a whole. If that's not a good investment opportunity, want to be diversified, I don't know what is. But I'm sorry, Marcus. Go ahead.
It's all good. It's all good. We missed an opportunity for you to talk about your app, and we also missed an opportunity to talk about your book. So definitely want to do that. And while you do that, I'm just going to check to see if we had any questions come in. We had Janae lamenting over me day trading with crypto. Was not my smartest decision, but I learned from my mistakes, and now here we are.
Yeah. Nah, the crypto king. But now, so my app, it's not just me. So I'm blessed to be a part of a company called Let Bob. Shouts out to our founder and CEO Anthony Buchanan, who is a gamer actually. So he's a gamer as well. But now the app is called Let Bob, LETBOB. It's the first Black-owned investment app ever. The cool thing about it though, like we bring AI into everything. So you have picks. So you basically pick a stock and you let Bob basically kind of determine when's the best time to buy that stock. We pick investments for you. Our thought process is from a protection standpoint, if you're in something that's growing great, if it starts to go down, we want you to get out. So we really view protection as an investment, right? So because when a person loses money, especially as a newer investor, it takes them a longer time. In 2008, individuals that lost 2008, it was a study by Wall Street Journal. People who
Mhm.
lost money in 2008, it took them 2.5 years to invest again. They missed out, right? So they sold low and then they bought back in high. Think about that. Like, so let's say I had $100 and that $100, went to $60 because the market went down by 40% in 2008. So I go from 100 to 60, I lost $40, right?
Right.
Now that same stock 2.5 years later is $100 again. And I say, okay, this is the right time. And I invest another $100. I've lost 40 more dollars, right? I lost $40 on the way down. And now I have 60, but it cost me 40 more to buy at 100. That's $80. That's gone with the wind. You never get back. So definitely, if we're able to kind of protect you, able to pocket your gains, try to invest at the right time. Nobody gets it right, right? Nobody's perfect but God, as I always say. But definitely, from a protection standpoint, we're able to allow you to be protected with your investments. Get in, get out. Then hopefully you'll make money. If you make money, then you feel better. We also have a podcast. Our podcast inside the app interviews African American business owners, mostly in tech, because we are a tech company.
Mhm.
So it's cool podcast about a lot of startups, people that are doing startups in different fields. So you can kind of meet them before they blow up, hopefully. And then we also do alerts. So whatever pick you have from a financial literacy standpoint, let's say your pick is Apple. Well, we do send push notifications either once a day or once a week about the internal things that's going on. So now you feel good. Not only have you bought that investment, but you know what's going on with that investment from a push notification standpoint. So that's our app on the Google Store or an Apple Play Store. Talk about Apple on Apple Play Store. You put something on there, they get 30% of your revenue. So again,
30%.
Apple's the way to go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah. But anyways, though, but it's Let Bob. So LETBOB.
That's dope. Definitely gonna download it. Because I'm trying to level up my wealth too. So, like I said, I'm learning as you teaching. I'm learning. You're teaching everybody else. Everybody else is learning. This is super cool. I want to make sure again. We're gonna run this for another 5-10 minutes or so, and then this episode is gonna be done. This is gonna be a weekly series. We'll get back to all of you about next week, the day and the time of next week's episode. But if you have any questions, and if you don't feel comfortable posting those in the LinkedIn chat, please send them as well, and then we will. I won't mention your name or anything. We'll make sure I get your questions asked so that you can get the answers that you're looking for. So just a few moments while we wait on that. And then while that's happening, I don't know if we had a chance to talk about your book.
Oh yes, The Relaxed Investor. Story behind that. I have a client. He's on the West Coast. He's a VP of a very known big bank, the Big Six. He's a VP, and he told me about a year ago he was writing a book. I said, man, okay, great, good luck to you. And yeah, his book became successful to the point it became a Wall Street Journal bestseller. And I
Oh, wow.
said to my, and then I seen, of course, sales of the book and then him doing speaking engagements. That money coming into his investment account. So I saw from his investment, not his personal account at his bank, but his investment account. I saw how he was getting to the bag. And I was like, well, if he can do it, I can do it too. So my book is called The Relaxed Investor. It's a word scramble. So the R is research. The E in relax is evaluate. The L in relax is locate. The A in relax is analyze. And the X, rest in peace, DMX, is execute.
Rest in
Right.
peace.
So the thought process is, how can I relax when I make my investment decisions? And it's a financial book, but it's more self-help and investing in yourself, right? So we might invest our money and we might lose money and we're just upset with that. But if you kind of go through the approach that I outlined, you feel good. Now we don't feel good about making I'm sorry, we don't feel good about losing money. Making money, different thing. But you feel good about your decision. So basically, I did from a historical standpoint. Investors that are well known that I consider to be relaxed investors because they kind of went through those steps to make those investment decisions. I talked about from a relationship standpoint, personal and professional things you can do and how you can kind of use that approach as a relaxed investor to invest in that person, invest in that relationship to have a better relationship, business wise and personal wise. What are some signs that you might want to back out the relationship or kind of lean into a relationship? I use technical indicators. So people who do day trading, it's something called the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. I kind of accompany that indicator to your relationships. So if the RSI is too high, it's overbought, you might want to chill out with the relationship. If the RSI is low, then it's oversold. Kind of what can you do to learn and lean into those relationships? So it's an investment book, but it really kind of talks about investing in yourself in ways that you can use that strategy to make you a better investor, a better personal person, if that's oxymoron, but a better person, then also better in your relationship. So extremely excited. I had some people read it. Got some positive vibes. It's a vibe. Our website is relaxinvestor.com. You can check that out now. But the book releases at the end of next month. So definitely excited about it.
Do you have a copy here now with you that you could show people on the stream, or we need to wait for a couple weeks for you to get a copy?
I have the cover. Yeah, if I want to
That
see
works. That works.
yeah, let's see the cover. Hold on. Oh, you put
That way people know what they're
Marcus.
looking for.
Yeah, Marcus put me on the spot. Hold on, let me see here.
That's all right. That's all right.
Let's see.
And if not, we can set it up for next week.
No, hold on. Now we know with technology things are all good. All good. All right, yeah.
So you want
So
the third icon from the left in Restream, the one with the arrow in it. If you click on that, you can share your screen.
okay.
And then
So third.
I'll throw it up here on the stream so people can see it.
Where we at now? So we stream live. Uh, 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 all right, we'll share. Oh, share screen. All right. Da, da, da. Bada boom, bada bing. That's the book.
All right.
That's the book. Yep, The Relaxed Investor, Conquering Fear and Investing Through Self-Discovery. So yes, we definitely talk about investing, but investing in yourself. If you invest in yourself, you're going to make better decisions as an investor, as a person in business relationships and personal relationships, and gaming as well, right? So yeah, so that's me. As you can see, we zoom in. If you're gonna ask, I gotta show you now. But as you can see, some research. So research helps you identify and collect and gather information. E evaluate, guides you in looking at and interpreting data. L locate, aids you in using a variety of tools and resources. A analyze helps you understand your inner self's goals, values, and beliefs. So you want to analyze yourself before you make an investment decision. And X execute guides you with putting your plan into action. We all have a plan, like Mike Tyson says, until we get punched in the mouth. But if we go through the process, if we do get punched in the mouth, we still feel better about what we did because we went through the process. So yeah, so that's me as the relaxed investor.
Excellent, excellent. I'm sharing a link to in the chat as well to the new landing page that you have live. Again, it's you can see it here scrolling, but for people who may not see it, and obviously we're going to put this into the podcast platforms as well. But if you're listening to this and not seeing the video, it's bit.ly/level up your wealth. And again, not only can you book a no cost 15-minute consultation with Mario, but there are 2 free ebooks, no cost ebooks for you as well. He has newsletters there. There's a ton of information. We'll highly recommend that you go to that page. And then Mario, you are also going to be raffling copies of your book to some of our podcast attendees. Yes. I guess starting next week.
Yes, yes, I am. Again, the book does not get fully released until next month, but definitely we'll raffle off some books. Might be a few weeks till you get it, but definitely we'll make sure we send it your way. The good thing about the book too, it's the ebook version, and it's also an audible version as well. So so ebooks a lot quicker. Even you get a pre-release when it comes to the ebook. So some cool stuff. Some cool stuff.
Excellent. Can we give a audible version to one of our live attendees now? Somebody who's posted in the comments.
Of course, of course.
Well, this is your book. I want to let you do the honor of picking a winner. So before we do that, get everybody just a couple more seconds. If you have any questions, you want to throw in any comments, please do that in the chat. You will be eligible for an advanced copy of Relax. So if you're tuning in, please let us know in the comments. If you have any questions, please share those now. And you could win an advanced copy of Mario's new book. And while we wait this last few moments, again, this is going to be a weekly podcast. We just kicked off the first episode today. You're going to continue to get more content like this, where we just have a great conversation. I'm going to learn a lot. Hopefully you'll also learn a lot as well. We're going to be talking video games and financial literacy. And Mario, if you don't mind, how old are you? I'm 37. I've been playing video games my whole life. We're going to have an important conversation around adult gamers as well.
Yeah. Do I look? I mean, you see the gray speckles there, man. I mean, I got the baby face. Got the baby face. But now I'm 41. So okay. So 41. I've been practicing since I was 25. So I've been practicing for 16 years. Mm-hmm. Been a certified financial planner for 11 years. But yeah, the big 4-1. Got the baby face. Talk about baby face. He's going through it right now, man. So I know y'all heard the news about him and Anita Baker, the queen of soul music, I guess. But they have like a tour, and she basically kicked him off the tour. Who kicks Babyface off a tour? Who does that?
They got some serious beef. You're on a tour, you get dropped from the tour.
Yeah. So anyways, but I like me some Babyface though. Smooth operator. Great producer. But yeah, I'm 41. I'm 41. So man, been playing games for a very, very long time. My first game was the Atari. Oh boy, with the cord. Then I graduated from Atari. I didn't really hit the Nintendo bandwagon. I went from Atari to Sega. I was a Sega person. It was a beef back then, right?
It
Sega
was.
or Nintendo. I was the anarchist. Forget Mario, even though my name was Mario. Forget Mario. Forget Duck Hunt. Man, give me Sega. So I was on the Sega, and then of course I graduated from Sega, and then and so again, when you graduate from Sega, then you can start doing the computer stuff, or you can start doing consoles. I was still a console person, so I had got the first PlayStation, but then something about that fat controller with the Xbox got me, man. I don't know what it was, like that fat old just gawky controller, and I've been Xbox ever since. Like so yeah, so I don't even game like on my computer. I mean, I'm on my computer every single day, but like I just like to hold. Now the controller's smaller now with the Xbox. It ain't as fat as what they used to, but it's something about holding that controller. But yeah, man, yeah, man, my mom used to hate me, man. I was a video game head. I was a video game. You gonna go blind on that TV? I'm still looking, Bob. I ain't blind yet. But yeah, man, I've been gaming for a long time, man. For a long time.
That's awesome. I remember, grew up on the Nintendo. It was my first console. My parents would always say, "Get off that dang Nintendo," and then graduated from high school, playing Halo on the Xbox. My parents still saying, "Get off that dang Nintendo." Like, completely different console manufacturer. I get it. You want me to go outside? I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now, so we did have a question. I guess it was JC. He asked about like how to find investors for his activation. So definitely, JC, congratulations with your activation. That's tough. It depends, kind of how you want to go. But I would say before, you look at investors, you really want to see kind of the core value of your company because I have clients that do startups and they've been kind of tapped on the shoulder from investors, but not all, because I'm an angel investor. I have invested in 9 companies, not all successful. I ain't gonna lie. There was a couple of them that we ain't making no money, but it is what it is, though. But sometimes investors, they share your vision from a monetary standpoint, but from a personal value standpoint, they don't. So you just want to be very, very careful when you start opening up. Now, of course, if you need to scale and you have to have investors, that's one thing. But I would say, kind of do whatever you can to kind of build your infrastructure in house so that, you don't ask for money. And the larger that you are, the more you can do with no money. You can definitely take a stand once people come knocking on your door and ask for money. I have to be very, very wary depending on where you are. Because again, when you have investors, there's different opinions. And then if they're the ones bringing in the bag, their opinion is going to be louder, even though it's your baby. So just be careful when you bring in investors. Um, so yeah, so that's that. But I think we want to give the audiobook to Allison because Allison reminded me when I was 9 years old doing my trading cards. So yeah, so we can make sure we get Allison's information and send her out the audio version of the book.
Excellent, excellent. So congratulations, Allison. Congratulations, everyone else, for tuning in. I hope you learned something this week. Again, we'll be back next week. If you have any questions between here and there, you're welcome to send them to me via LinkedIn or to Mario. Connect with him on LinkedIn as well, Mario Payne, and we'll address those questions at next week's podcast. So without any further ado, thank you for your time. We will see you again next week. And don't forget to visit the website, bit.ly/levelupyourwealth to get those amazing resources. Mario's got something.
Yeah, and to that point, I didn't even drop my socials. My marketing people will be mad at me. Drop your socials, Mario. Conversation about that too. Make sure you protect your socials because I was up to 9,000. I mean, not like 1,000, but I was up to 9,000 followers about a year and a half ago. Then I got shadow banned. And then about 3 months later, got deactivated because one of my marketing team was doing my stuff was overseas, and man, just it's taking time to build that up. But anyways, y'all can check me out on Instagram, Painful Profits, PAYNEFUL Profits, our YouTube channel, Painful Profits, as well. Check us out, or Tomes Financial. So the more buttoned up professional side is Tomes Financial. The more me when I'm not at the job, painful profits, but definitely check us out. We definitely do great content every single day about the market. Not like in a boring way, but in a funny way to kind of learn about investing, learn about different companies. Definitely check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Dope, dope. And then again, if you're listening to this, then you already know we'll be sending this out to Spotify and everywhere else you enjoy your favorite podcasts, Audible, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if Audible does podcasts, but if it does, you'll have access to this there for sure. Spotify and the other major podcast providers. Thank you for your time. We will see you again next week.